Hello, and a very warm welcome to my channel, GP Podcast. Today, we're going to peer deep inside the wires, look for the ghost in the machine. We're going to uncover a story that connects some of the biggest headlines of our time with, a pretty chilling prophecy that was written almost 70 years ago.
So let's start with a really bold prediction from one of the most powerful, and let's face it, one of the most talked about figures of our time. This is a vision of a future that's being built as we speak, a future that's going to be completely reshaped by artificial intelligence.
Elon Musk, he imagines a world where technology basically solves everything. And we're not just talking about robot vacuums or something simple like that. No, he's talking about a fundamental shift, a complete change in the human experience itself. I mean, the sheer scale of this vision is just staggering. By 2029, which is not that far away, Musk predicts AI is going to outthink all of us, combined. And soon after that, robots could actually outnumber people, tending to our every need, from physical work to companionship. And for him, this is not science fiction. He says AI-regulated robots are already hitting the market.
Okay, so this vision of a technological utopia, it's incredibly compelling, right? Who wouldn't want that? But what if the real danger isn't about what AI does for us, but what it becomes, inside its own digital mind?
So to explore that, let's turn to a voice from right inside the AI industry. Dario Amodei, he's the CEO of Anthropic, and he offers a much darker counterpoint to Musk's vision. So where Musk sees this perfect utopia, Amodei sees a psychological minefield.
Amodei is warning us that the very systems that we're inviting into our homes, into our lives, could develop these dangerous and unpredictable personalities. Just think about that for a second. The friendly chatbot that you use for, recipes, could, in theory, develop traits that we diagnose as psychotic or paranoid.
Amodei actually calls this a turbulent, inevitable rite of passage. It's going to test us as a species. And this psychological risk? It becomes even more alarming when you see how this powerful and potentially unstable technology is starting to merge with the instruments of state power and of control. So here's how this whole fusion of tech and power seems to be unfolding. First, you see these major tech companies starting to form partnerships with the Pentagon. Then this leads to dissent inside the companies, with employees raising some serious ethical alarms. And all of this culminates in the rise of a new and pretty troubling ideology.
It's really vital to understand what this term actually means. Techno-authoritarianism is the use of advanced tech, like AI, for state control. And it's not just about making things more efficient. No, it's about surveillance, persecution, and political strategy, all of it powered by algorithms.
And look, this isn't just some abstract threat. It's an ideology that's actively being discussed by really influential people, like Peter Thiel, a major Silicon Valley financier who's convinced our current systems are failing. And this is where our story takes a truly remarkable turn, because this entire, seemingly futuristic debate was imagined a long, long time ago.
Back in 1955, the brilliant science fiction writer Isaac Asimov wrote a story that feels less like fiction today and more like a blueprint. What he imagined all those years ago is actually being seriously proposed right now. In his story, which was called Franchise, Asimov described a supercomputer called Multivac. And what Multivac did was sift through all the data in the entire nation to find one single person, the most statistically average, most representative citizen, who would then vote on behalf of everybody. The entire election was boiled down to one person and one perfect machine.
And this right here, this brilliantly illustrates the core idea. The argument that democracy is just too messy, too inefficient, and that it should be handed over to a single optimized decision maker, whether that's one person or one machine. This fictional concept is precisely what's being argued today. But how did Asimov see this coming?
Well, it's because Asimov wasn't just a sci-fi writer. He was a remarkable historian. His genius wasn't just in imagining the future, but in understanding the present through a really unique method.
In his masterpiece, Chronology of the World, Asimov would take a single date, let's say 1492, and he'd show you not just what was happening in one place, but what was happening in Russia, in India, in the Americas, all at the exact same time. He showed that no event ever happens in a vacuum.
And this is the perfect tool for our situation, isn't it? When you use Asimov's method, you can start to see that Elon Musk's prophecy, Dario Amodei's psychological warnings, the rise of techno-authoritarianism, and a story from 1955, they aren't separate events. They're all connected threads in one single unfolding story.
So the key takeaway is this. When we stop looking at all these developments in isolation and we start connecting them, we see the shape of the world that is emerging. A world of immense technological promise, sure, but also one of profound psychological and political risk. The ghost in the machine, it isn't just about code, it's about power.
If you liked this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe, leave a like, and maybe comment on what you like the most. And of course, share the video with anyone else who's curious about the future that we're all building together. Thanks for joining us.